I was born in South Korea, Busan, which is going to be a port city in the southern part of South Korea. And yeah, since I was little, a lot of cooking came from my grandmother and obviously my mother. I moved to the States when I was 10, so obviously until I was 10, it was heavy Korean, barely any other influences except the ones that you will find in the city. So I majored in mechanical engineering and psychology, and I was a plant engineer. After that, I found out this really wasn't my path. There was an opportunity back in Korea to start a hotel development company. So that's how I got into hospitality. And being in New York, the school, obviously educational skills are very important, but at the same time, you need to be able to experience why this makes the school so great, what culture around it makes it so that school keeps on going. So I thought ICC was the best place to be, and a lot of the graduates, obviously the alumni, are pretty solid, so it was an easy choice in that aspect.
My name is Chef Hervé Malivert. I'm the director of Culinary and Technology here at the ICC. Since I'm a kid, I always like to compete. Coaching students is kind of me, kind of teach them what I did in the past. I did competition and meeting other people, chefs, company, organization. I think it's fun for me. It's also good for the student. It's good for prepare them for their final. It's good to prepare them for the real world. Ajinomoto select 6 schools around the country, the 6 best schools they feel they deserve to compete. We were one of them. Time was 2 hours, 4 dishes, and the focus point was the umami flavor. So what we did, we asked the student to submit an essay, and Nick was definitely the one we believe very has an idea of umami and how to use it. It was more than just the recipe. I believe the student who's going to compete is the one representing the school by his personality, by his everything.
My dish was butter poached smoked abalone with roasted mushroom risotto served with oven roasted cherry tomatoes and seaweed crisp. I wanted to use all natural ingredients to get the umami flavor to naturally come out because it's going to be difficult where the technique comes from if you use a flavoring instead of a natural ingredient.
So the ingredient key for the umami competition, we focus on natural ingredient.
So I went through the list of ingredients most rich in umami. The top 5 were kombu, Parmigiano Reggiano, tomato, mushrooms.
And actually by roasting the mushroom and roasting the tomato, we're developing more the umami flavor. We use a bit of soy sauce, we use kombu, so we very kind of build a recipe around the many ingredients. We will develop the umami flavor.
And then it led to me thinking there's a dish in South Korea made with abalone. It's essentially it's an abalone porridge, but I thought, if you add cheese to it, it ceased to become what we know as the abalone porridge. So it would be a nice idea to make that into risotto, and then kind of put all together the concept with Eastern ingredients and Western techniques coming together.
But at the end, the strategy for me is always the same. It's to have some creativity, to be challenging, a knife skill. You want to see that organization and cleanness. So we really need to work with this because that's usually the criteria from the competition. That's what they're looking for. My big job is coaching the time frame. So 2 hours, every 10 minutes, I pretty much build every 10 minutes some work to do regarding the knife skill. So we build a time frame to kind of have a good amount of work on 2 hours.
So Chef Hervé set me up with this timetable after the first practice. So now I would have to start hitting those marks in, let's say, the first 30 minutes. I'd have to finish getting set up, prep all the ingredients, and then the last 30 minutes, I have to start my risotto. Those kind of key points, well, worked as the outline. Once I had that, it was just basically trying to work as clean as I can, working through the kinks, what's more efficient, what errors am I committing, and he was just there to hop over the whole experience. So he definitely made sure that nothing went out of his sight. So I think just the repetition after that kind of made it into what we were able to do on the competition day. I was more amazed. It was obviously it was probably nervous, but I tried to not think about that fact. So that aspect was not going to help me. So I had friends, and Chef Hervé was also there to support me, and just that fact itself was very amazing to me. I just kept on thinking if I have everything. It's a lot of image training because it's a new kitchen. We've never cooked in that kitchen before. Just thinking about every scenario that could go wrong, and some did go wrong, and just thinking that through beforehand kind of got me mentally prepared.
The grand prize winner is Nick Lee.
Which advice I will give to Nick? You know what? Nick was serious. Nick was he commit to his competition, and like I did mention, I think before, the real world is like a big competition. So I think Nick is ready. He's ready. What is in front of him? I would say keep your heads up, keep focused. Don't get a big head now because you win a competition. At the end, it's great, but still be humble. But Nick is in a good path.
This is only just one step towards what I want to do in the future. So I think it definitely feels great. The biggest achievement for me now is that I know this was the right path for me, and I think that gives me courage to go through in this industry.